America is giving Saudi Arabia cover for the worst human rights abuses in decades, Watchdog warns.
Here's a summary of the article.
Last year represented the worst in recent memory for the human rights situation in Saudi Arabia, according to a watchdog that tracks abuses in the totalitarian kingdom. The Berlin-based European Saudi Organization for Human Rights released its 2019 report on Tuesday, detailing what it called a downward trend for human rights that shows no signs of stopping. These relationships offer the Saudi government cover to suppress and kill dissidents at home and abroad, the ESOHR claimed. It has become clear that Saudi Arabia is being given cover by its political allies in both the US and several European countries, which benefit from the economic revenue of the relationship, the ESOHR report read. Successive U.S. governments had received billions of dollars from selling American weapons to Saudi Arabia, some of which have been used to commit war crimes in Yemen. Thanks to these allies, who do not prioritize serious promotion of human rights, Saudi Arabia is able to engage in violations and crimes against humanity, while some of these countries even participate in and drive such abuses, as for example in U.S. support for the war in Yemen, the report said. ESOHR said the Saudi court case was a farcical scene that acquitted senior officials responsible for the killing. The move demonstrated the government's intention to show further disdain for human rights, the watchdog argued. The ESOHR noted that the rate of executions in Saudi Arabia has increased in the past few years, despite MBS' suggestion that he would try and reduce the use of capital punishment.
This post received a score of 42,368, with an upvote ratio of 90%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Well, technically we're not giving Saudi Arabia cover, we're selling it to them. That's even worse.
We'll sell arms to Saudi Arabia and to the corruption and human rights abuses, but be totally 100% behind withholding aid to Puerto Rico because of corruption and human rights abuses. See what you get when your country has a major resource we need. You get to be as corrupt as you want, murder who you want, and we'll sell you weapons.
Somehow those arms kept finding their way into the hands of ISIS and other groups.
Somehow. Can't fight baddies if the baddies aren't causing trouble. And #X200B. S kinda. It's not, S. It's legit how the military-industrial complex works. Do you think USA needs the money from KSA sales? Not really. But you can't arm ISIS directly, so might as well sell to KSA and let them arm ISIS. Then instead of the paltry billions you get from KSA, you make trillions from a never-ending war in the Middle East.
Spend trillions. A lot of that money just goes missing. But Medicare for all is too expensive, because reasons.
It really says a lot when you're willing to spend trillions to kill foreigners but not billions to save neighbors.
Says everything, really.
Yemen's president, Hadi, ran unopposed in a corrupt election and won with 100% of the votes. He was nothing more than a Saudi puppet. The coward then fled to Saudi Arabia by boat after the Houthi rebels overthrew him and his pathetic army. This coward hides in Saudi Arabia while SA brings in child soldiers from Sudan to fight on his behalf.
Greater than Mike Pompeo. Fuck that guy then.
Terrible, terrible dude.
A bad hombre.
Want to know how far they have their hand up the ass of the US Gov? They can be involved with 911, murder a US resident journalist, and the Dems and the Repubs hold off on attacking them. All the while, bomb and kill everyone else. SA owns both parties, we need to abandon them and their oil.
Remember when one of _Donald's big criticisms of Hillary was that she wouldn't stand up to Saudi Arabia? They've been strangely silent about that lately.
That's because they're partisan hacks.
U.S. government is not receiving the billions, the gun manufacturer and distributor are. Our government is just protecting their profits at the cost of the world. No biggie.
They get campaign donations from those companies.
But it's not the government receiving the money. It's the politicians.
Saudi Arabia's buying of U.S. treasuries is soaring under Trump.
Don't forget this video whenever reading news about our relations in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia was not on that list. The U.S. has no intention of interfering with anything related to them. That is, unless it is to redact pages of 9/11 investigative text that link the royals directly with the event. Then for those pages to be released, still with redaction, and then pass a law saying U.S. citizens cannot sue.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.